Hey guys, how's it going? Back with another vinyl haul update. Um, it, just did one like 2 weeks ago, 2 or 3 weeks ago, but I've picked up a lot more stuff. I was just kind of like I kind of slowed down in buying some stuff, but over the last couple weeks, for whatever reason, I've had really the itch to pick up some stuff, and I found the Vinyl Collective um, message board, which has helped me a lot in buying. I like it. I think I like it better than Discogs because at times I feel like Discogs is too overwhelming unless you really have something you want to pick up, and then it's great. But on the Vinyl Collective, it's just people posting what they have for sale, and it kind of like you see it up there, and then you realize you do want to buy it. So that's been great. Some great prices, some great people on there as well. So definitely recommend checking it out. I'm gonna get right into it because I do have a little, quite a bit of stuff. At least for me. Other people, I know this is kind of just like a normal week, but I do have about, I think I have 8 12 inches and 2 7 inches. So I'll get right to that. I bought a majority of these were all on the same sale from someone on that website. Aside from 2. So I think I actually have 9 LPs, but two of these 7 inches came from the big sale that I took, and he just threw these in, which was very cool. The first one is a 7 inch from The Tower and the Fool. This is one I don't know anything about. I haven't listened to it yet, actually. It's on Run for Cover Records, and this is Die Alone is the A side, and My Heart Is Dead in New York City is the B side. So I have to check this out. I think it's on regular black vinyl, but don't know much about it. I've never heard of the band, but it was cool for him to just throw it in. And he also threw in the other one, so I actually didn't order either of these. This is New Found Glory Radio Surgery. I was a big New Found Glory fan, like I guess most kids who were into alt rock in the early 2000s, but I don't really know much about their discography post, I guess, whatever came after Sticks and Stones. I think that was my last album, but I have to give this a listen. This is actually came on like a hot pink vinyl, which is kind of cool. I'm a sucker for colored vinyl. I love it. It's always a nice surprise when you don't know the color that it's going to be on. So those were those two. Like I said, I still have to listen to both. But basically I got these for free from that guy. So kudos to him. The first record this week is She and Him, Volume 1. I'm a big fan of She and Him. I like their style. It's Zoe Deschanel and I forget the guy who's in it. But yeah, so big fan of She and Him. I want to say Tom Waits, but I feel like I'm extremely off with that. I don't really know why that's the name coming to mind. But I don't know. I'm just going to say that. I'm probably wrong. So if I am, I'm sorry, and if someone can correct me, but I'm sure I'm wrong. This is from 2008. It's on Merge Records. This is just regular black vinyl. Obviously, Volume 1, their first album. And last week, or my last video, I had their Christmas album, so big fan of theirs. Just really kind of like, mellow stuff to listen to on a Sunday afternoon when you're cooking dinner. These next 7 are all from the same sale. Like I said, I paid $100, including shipping, for everything, including, I guess now, if you want to mark it down, those 2 7 inches as well. First up is Taking Back Sundays, Where You Want to Be. This is where I left this band. Not that I was in the band. This is where I left, kind of listened to them. After this, I felt it was really downhill for that group up until this day, despite having the original lineup back. I'm from Long Island, so to have Taking Back Sunday was them and Brand New were everything. In my high school years. I'm gonna be 27 in August, so you can kind of gauge where I the time I was in high school. Very early 2000s, they were everything. Those two bands, and like I said, this was kind of the end for me. but still actually a really, really good album. But it was after this I was done. This came on kind of gray, like marble, yeah, I guess gray marble color. Sounds very good. I kind of messed up the inner sleeve, so I have to just swap that with something else I don't really care about. So that was nice to have to add to my collection. I'm definitely much more of a person who will go back and buy, albums that I know that I like on vinyl rather than kind of blind buy new records. I think it's mostly just because of the expense and the risk, and I like to use Spotify to listen to stuff before I buy it. Next up is the Get Up Kids Eudora. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. I'm a pretty solid fan of the Get Up Kids. They're by no means my favorite band, but definitely enjoy popping the Get Up Kids on every now and then. This is off of Staple Records. This is a reissue from 2013. It's a double LP on black vinyl. First Get Up Kids addition to my collection. Hopefully it's not the last, but good, early 2000s, emo or whatever you'd like to call it. So happy to have that. Next one is one that I'm really excited about, and again, I keep saying I was a teenager in the early 2000s, and this band was kind of really turned the corner for me musically. It is Fear Before the March of Flames. Odd How People Shake. Really, like I said, it really opened the door up to more heavier stuff for me. Not really just heavier, but just more experimental, artsy stuff. And there's a lot of screaming, but there's a lot of cool. The lyrics are beautiful. Just a lot of cool. It's kind of like a heavier version of the Blood Brothers without the more throaty, agonizing screaming. And this came on a really cool orange. I think it's orange. Oh no, I was mistaken for this. This is definitely orange. So it comes out on that. I believe this is a reissue. It was only limited to 500 copies, which is kind of cool. I think this originally came out in 2003. Like I said, I think this is a reissue. But very happy to have that in my collection as well. They have since, I think they broke up and then teased a reunion or whatever, but it never came to fruition. Which is fine. Their first 3 albums are fantastic. Next up is Band of Horses. This is Cease to Begin. Just really kind of, I had their, I forget what the name of the title is, the name of the album is. I have one of their albums, I think on CD, but this is my first venture into their vinyl. Big fan, and this is one that my fiance likes as well. So whenever I'm able to get something that she likes to listen to, I definitely jump at the chance. So glad to have that. Next up is, trying to speed it along here, see I'm rambling. Next up is Comeback Kids, Wake the Dead. This kind of introduced me a little bit to more, I don't know, they're not really, I guess you could say they're a hardcore band. I guess early 2000s type hardcore, definitely not like, vintage hardcore, but they kind of opened me up to that. Then I moved into bands like Have Heart and Inverse and stuff like that. But this is kind of the opening the door for me. And this is on clear yellow vinyl. Again, I think this is a reissue as well, from a couple years ago. This originally came out, I want to say, like 2005 or so. Yeah, I was right. This is on Victory Records. And he also threw in I think this is their debut album, Comeback Kids, Turn It Around. This is originally came out in 2003 on Face Down Records, but it was reissued 2011. I think this is on, Regular Black. No, I'm sorry. It is on Clear, so the exact opposite. I haven't listened to this yet, actually either of those yet. Have to do that. These came, I think, 2 days ago. So I'm still working my way through everything. Just put that in after. Next, the final purchase from that haul was the one that I wanted, I guess, really the most. And like I said about Taking Back Sunday, Brand New was the other band that we as kids idolized. So I picked up The Devil and God Are Raging Inside Me. Um, it's not my favorite album by them. It's definitely my second favorite. I think this really, we've only had one album after this, but this really turned the corner for, I think, for this band. This album is phenomenal, but it's just for nostalgia reasons why Deja Entendu is my favorite. But this is great. This is a double LP on regular black vinyl. Really great packaging, as most of their stuff is. So happy to have this. And last but not least, speaking of Deja Entendu, I got the reissue. This isn't the Record Store Day One. This is the regular reissue off of Triple Crown. And happy, like I said, to have this as well, because this is probably one of my favorite albums. It was probably top 5 favorite albums for me of all time. There's not a bad song on it, and to have it finally on vinyl without having to pay the 300 plus price that the first pressing would always go for is nice. And this one is already up to a pretty high price, but I've heard that they're kind of just mass reissuing it now. But yeah, this is great. The liner notes are great. Comes with a little poster, not a poster, but it's kind of like you can frame it at the lyric sheet with the astronaut in the front. So happy to have that. Again, this is a double LP just on regular black vinyl, so I'm not going to take it out. And yeah, that's it. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll have another update, I guess, in a few weeks.